Greetings everyone, and welcome to another WIS Technology tutorial. Today's lesson I'll be talking about uploading units to Google Calendar via a Google Sheet. Earlier this morning it was brought to my attention that I hadn't made a video on my workflow for uploading units that have been submitted to the curriculum map to their respective Google Calendars. So I thought I would walk you through that in this video. So the first thing you should recognize is that I have a folder in my Google Drive, and I have a Google Sheet per subject area containing the calendar information. So if we look at one, I have a calendar for the PE and health subject area. And what this simply is it's a query import range that is going back to the master spreadsheet. That's the one that contains the unit in every subject area, right? So it's importing a specific set of data matching a specific criteria into this spreadsheet. So in this case, I'm taking back only columns 1, columns 20, and column 21, but only where column 18 contains PE Health. Now on that sheet, column 18 was the subject area. So I'm making a very specific call for data, and I'm filling columns A, B, and C with only the PE Health related data. Now notice that to work with calendar I need to have dates, and I'm using cycles in our unit planners because that's how teachers typically plan when they're going to be doing their units, via what cycle they appear during the year. It's an 8-day cycle in our case. So I had to translate the cycles into actual dates in order to upload them to calendar. So I was able to do that via an array formula VLOOKUP. So what I did was I built a database consisting of the number of cycles and their corresponding start dates and end dates. And what the VLOOKUP does is it will, for example, at the start date, it'll look up column B2 to B. So it's looking down here, and it's going to reference our cycle database and then bring back the actual start date here. And that the same goes for the end date. So these are, both of these are referenced here. So you notice the only difference between these two scripts is that this has a range of A2 to B, this has a range of A2 to C, this has an index of 2, this has an index of 3. So that's how I'm really narrowing down the data, and now I need to stage it to be uploaded to the Google Calendar, and I do that in another tab called Calendar Upload. And I should have mentioned at the beginning that this sheet itself was made from a copy that already contained the old FormMule script. So I didn't start from scratch. I first made a copy of a sheet that had that script attached because I knew that the calendar upload feature of that script has worked really well. Now, the only thing I haven't done this is to set it to update automatically, which I think I just need to set an appropriate trigger to do that, maybe at midnight or something like that. But it's really no burden to go in and just manually update this as well. I'm not going to go into how the FormMule script works, but I just wanted to show you how I've sort of set up the data. So it's pulled in the name of the class of the course and the unit. I've got a start date and an end date, and that's really all I need. If I need to make changes to it, I have added an update column where if I put in a specific character, I'm not sure, I don't remember what I put in there, if it was maybe U for update or X to delete, so on and so forth. But anyway, you can manage the calendar from the spreadsheet, which is pretty cool. So now you'll notice here that I have events that have not yet been added, and that's because I need to manually go in and update them. And it's really as easy as going to preview and perform the manual merge. And of course, I'm not sending any emails with this. That's something that I could do as well. But I just want to go under Event Create. So it tells me, okay, there are 4 events that are going to be added to the calendar, and I can actually see them right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I can just go ahead and hit the Run button, and soon afterwards I should see that those events have been added to the calendar. Once that's done, I also want to make mention of the query that you see up here. So great, so now those events have been added to the calendar. And this query is simply taking the information from sheet 1, but there's an added caveat here. It's saying where E is not null. And the reason it has to be not null is that using an array formula, if you want to run a merge, it's going to want to merge calendar entries for units that do not exist, if that makes sense. So it's going to look all the way down this spreadsheet. So I have to give it some sort of frame of reference for where to stop merging the data. So that's what this is for. So you can see it's only going to merge data as long as there's text in column E. So I hope this gave you enough of an idea of how I am managing the calendars. And of course, the view of that on the actual site looks something like this. So as a default display, this is every single unit that's happening simultaneously, right? And this is still growing. Like it hasn't, if I go back in time, where more units are actually in the map. Oops, that's too far. Look at, there's 157. So this is going to look really chaotic. So because of that, what I've done is I've broken down the calendars by their subject areas as well. So this way, if the arts just wants to look at their own sort of calendars, they can look at a calendar view like this and get a sense of what's happening as well across the entire arts subject area. So there you have it. That's the calendar integration in the curriculum map. And again, I'm just working on now making it automatically upload the units every night. So thanks for watching. Bye.